baby mame. Na minim say Bible eda wenim. Fortunately no Bible no so say your brofo ne wo twi. Enti twi no mahu tre kron tre kron New Revised Asante Twi version.
Yes.
But we twi o school.
Me twi and oni me hu ye no. Na me call me quotation na ya make my refuge and my fortress. Me ba am say me dwan ko bia ne my bank. The tie uti na okwa no me dey ko no me hwe me ka tere myself je dey ochechi. Ka o me kwai
me ma won kai no me ma won kai
o de me kwai va
enti be John 13
Yohane nguma.
Yes, John 13 34 to 35. John 13 where 30. So drone yanga by now won't me report.
Maybe you say 13 13 say
John 13 34 to 35.
34.
Yeah.
Yes, I come from okay 34 menyano. 34 both a new commandment
can treat me part.
Honor assembly but when it says I come from Chichiba. It's the BC Benyansi. Or premier or Asomia. Yes, the Christo actually combined. Brosamba sorry head everyone feed with you. Busy be feed number Jim and the answer. Or see
now among or live no. How my
Seba for be Chichinama. Or say is it a chadia for memao? Say Mondo Domo said ye me domo. Say Monso Mondo Domo mo se mundo domo ho mo enam yesu nipa nyina behunu se moye mesuafo.
Fantastic.
Okay, ti ma miss am brother say ashede, that means the shisha for okay ashede fofra.
Yes,
ashede fofra mo jena mani de na yi ashede fofra 34 na mjena munyai. Okay, I said for front na me mamo. Se mondo dom ho, se mondo dom ho, said ye me dom no. Se mondo se monso mondo dom ho. And then 34 se mondo dom ho a enam yesu. Nipa nyina behunu se moye mesuafo.
Fantastic. Okay. Was the whole thing they say mostly you ask say ba Christo so mu a what are standard ben ye hwe trait ben ye hwe hu say asomesi ana obentin ye Christo ni Indiana bebre na free say how well you pray how well you give how well you work miracles your commitment to church activities daily quiet time away any other. But I think the simplest answer to that question no and a yes to provide and that's why I told you to read it. I said there for fra me mamo in the new commandment I give
that I give.
Good. Say mono do mo ho said there me do mono. Say mon so mono do mo ho. Say modo do mo ho a enam ye so nipa nyina behunu se mo ye mesuafo.
A reflection of making.
Absolutely. And for people to know that you are a disciple of God or of Christ, what you have to do is to love your neighbor as yourself. Love one another.
How do you do that mostly? How do you do that?
It basically, unse nyame shawa unshira say ya wonko enti. Ushira so wonso be nshira ama afoforo. Enti always know say once you pray, say nyankopon and connect you to divine helpers. Omo ebetimi aboa mo atumpon wa abrabomo no say wonso you be prayer topic.
Obi prayer topic now.
Yes.
Also you be there.
Also you be prayer topic. In the whole stress say obi ma meboa no. Obi so share him say wonso and na monso so na wonso aba beboa no. And while you so ma for man hene so man hene you be prayer topic. Me sranya me so ma man hene on kana kuma no man hene meboa me. E was me so me was a true monso bo mpa say me nso me nya den me nso me mboa no. It say me nya ready say meboa truma. I don't have to expect say nyame na mo so ebeboa me.
So that is it's a chain.
It's a chain. Enti ye no do ye ho unua boa unua yesu se wa anya ma unua no wa anya enti ultimately the key trait nipa nyina be wo se mu ye Christopher
odo sonko
odo mapa Odo.
And Pendodo Pino, dear, and my 8 tree who free odo.
Trimoding. Nipa bi trim din.
Bonia yesu
Nipa bi trim din. Nipa bi bonia. Nipa bi nom show gratitude. Nipa bi just complaint. And I made a minyashi. And I made a minishi. And I made a minyashi. And I made a minishi. But the point is say. Nyamenye shema wono. Onye shema wono. I think a Christopher should begin to reimagine what this whole Christianity thing is about. Odo love. Odo said Yesu nya odo. And Yesu dono. And the Bible can say, even while we were still sinners, de bonye fumpono. Oba eba be woman. I think it's one takeaway I was seeing in IFA Eddie Freya. When you read the English version now, or say, a new commandment I give to you, that you love one another, just as I've loved you. You also are to love one another. By this, all people will know that you are my disciples, if you have love for one another. It is a obese obiye hu so ye nyame asuani, uye Kristonia. Love one another. It's okay. That simple. And yeah, how well you pray, and yeah, how well you do quiet time, and yeah, how well you fast, and yes. Sorry. Unim se wunu de bi atare ba ko no de ba sorry.
Osre ne kra.
Osre no, ntare no so wo ve egufie. Osre no, unu ya ne hye mpaboa ba ko ne ba fie de asori de bia. Na osre no. Utimi ze emui, utimi gimu ni gu hwa na asai no wayi akwa akoto emu. Onye obi nso ho a area wote maami bi ne ba de maami ni hia ma ne ba ko school 200 Ghana cedis wo bi parents we 200 na ma na problem hey now so ye Christoni
so some komo ya din sisi ye beda the Bible Society of Ghana making God's word available and affordable Yebedo na se titu yera Eric Okreku into.
Yes.
Edoma se de man ye fe kra bro so kwa se nei. Wona sade. E sunko tro kronkron. E de abeche. And ni so. If we say we na unya na onya ade nyina. Enumu na wani munyam no nkwaje ni usikanya. Na onkwa. Ewo. Very important eternal life. Inti edoma se we
so my no special unse she was side na before I was side inti it is good unya you don't have to buy an English Bible and a Tree Bible a 2-in-1 na bibia temi
and continuously we say this that you will never be ashamed of the gospel more underline
and the say
more underline we will never be ashamed of the gospel but for unyami and then ado any ne humo bro maybe. And it's not a question of you maybe nka ebia ye ni hanu se koranti monti ase ya chia mo wi no obi wonoma be numbi na afi maja because me hu say
no and dey ye won some count
me hu say ye wonoma numbi wa me nim say it falls within also
but we I think will be the message be by or say obi self-centeredness or selfishness breeds lack of love envy and greed you know person in
you know and it is there na say wo brebi ayebu ukonyuma hoduma me amfie ni nkoso amanyo semfo so mesrew baby out na hwo de hwo ni pa atwa mo hia mo akwa no se be se mo di no kura ma mo asese so ati person kunya adufuri pe obi kura so ti obi promotion so no ya sorry pen asori kase bi Ghana ono to obi promotion so
the promotion also
otiso
why not just me man nya promotion
say ni biro say ahoye o say die otiso so just otiso me so kwa ba adwuma ma ene o ma sisi wa ba adwuma bi won ma echen akan drama ebi no ma fa ba adwuma ne say ono no one ne ye
personal property
and ye omodia it's nobody advances past stage omodru it be fast akwanya was na menchia Mr. Christianity or highways Christianity engineer Christianity Alaji Abbas na road minister motorway na anwen se and coming common obo modern p but motorway ni key anwen se the be basa common so
now man o come motorway asem na we crack time and I think I saw it at the back of Jackson Daily Graphic I think I saw it at the back of Daily Graphic say Omoa oko motorway so I think there is a tunnel be a community 18
a fast even na
a fast it will be see motorway so unim say sa tunnel un say ekwan da soro e na tokro no ha cars
but we for matum
cars
yeah
unim say sa we no bolt screws for bolt ebubum. Yes, I share the whole tunnel, all kind of graphic, and I think the Lara Cell clue na story. So what kind
that's the problem.
Yeah. All kind boats, yes, boats near Baku be 2,000. And it's so tunnel.
It's so
a month for to 2 bolts, no. Boat 2,000, no more to 2 over 1,400 or so. In the year one and Cardiana Buagwini. Motorway tunnel, highway authority starts stolen bolt replacement. It also almost replacing in our story. And say workers from the bridge maintenance unit of the Ghana Highway Authority last Saturday started replacing the bolts holding the corrugated metals in the tunnel that connects Tema Community 18 to Boteman. The replacement is to prevent the bridge which lies beneath the Accra Tema motorway from collapsing following the theft of about 1,400 of the 2,000 bolts holding the bridge to the motorway concrete. Can you believe it? Can you believe it, Omahine? Is there baby? I don't know. In the year to 2 board, there's a bridge in the Mungumu. It is a cast na masi a bugu almost work on ipa. Pesamin kumina. Now we would to 2 bolts. I mean, Charlie. That's how far we've gotten to. Me whole story and I'm saying wow.
Much. I don't know what we need again. Wow. I don't know what we need again.
Wow.
Wow. How? Hard Kasa. And Ghana for the Biada me and phenomena. Grace said Bibia Dano, your Fabia normal. You know, these are some of the things that will be ABCC quickly. Mammy, your mammy knew in free ho. Na afi membra menkomo ankasa so ada danu fiada me din komo ha
yes
me catch you say era Alan Kwadwo Chairmantin ade a na wotwe ya yesimi ana afi na wotwe ya yebesimi ade a bibi besi bibi ashase a esi no almost all the lieutenants around him no clearly almost ashase endorse Dr. Mahmoud Baumia.
And I say Catherine Afeku.
And Nyama so crossing release no diabano.
And also concentrate on
once you concentrate for the MPP to break your 8, the only leader of the MPP now also support, of course. So that I said. So clearly they are area OPK are following in line. I'm sure majority of them will fall in line. But there's a big news coming. Alan will soon break silence, no. That's where the whole thing
on
is.
The political future.
Yes, no? Alan will soon. In fact, I'm impressed me to say Nano Danami Nubi Buamo Jubilee House about Nana Bra Becca Sabra Besibra. I went to my son that into where but I know say it falls on a Tuesday. In this Tuesday we are maybe the following Tuesday, you know, and busy. But what can I say? I will not massa reorganize your work. I say, will be obeying mona information, but clearly, will be obeying most of this information. The big announcement is coming. It will shock a lot of MPP people. It will shock them. It will shock Ghanaians.
That big announcement.
That announcement na Ebano. And I'm a talk also kasi ira KK Sapon.
Yes.
Somewhere around 2007, he was a major financier for a year era Alan Kwadwo Chairman. Now this time was stepped down. And yes, because of BBNT was stepped down. But there are reasons to why on your part of active partisan politics. There's a new focus. So what I say. But the point is that if you have such strong advocates, clearly you have to relook and rethink at any maybe you'll be on it can't be true. Dr. KK Sapon, we all know, say 2007 was a staunch financier supporter of Alan Kwadwo Chairman. But this time around, he's nowhere to be found because clearly all charting a different path altogether. So it can't be true, say, or you're part of this current Alan campaign for Bedina, Ostepo, and Ostepo. So that is the point. Again, minim say onyebi because me wo a quantum no. Yen yonin bin so de ba say me say the misili kede de Japan. ye free pa no. Yeah, I don't know me interview no bedroom then also we interview no Ekosiisen. It keeps coming. I don't know whether you have it there.
No, I've gotten a lot of those messages in my inbox. Yeah. And amount for me Omunya access to my page on Facebook. No, a lot of them did. And in fact, when we are live on air, say I will share comment in the stream when are we interviewing, especially time and you interview all the aspirants. That news kept coming, and the question kept coming. Say that be interview Honorable Kennedy.
So Obi, I think this one is not a big deal. Clearly, I almost multimedia. Any adwuma mu mpanyifo yesi gina yese esan se twitwiri bi wo eni ewura Kennedy akompre ko Japan entem no ade a de ato se kopim se sa twitwiri no ebe home ya manti ase aye adwuma wa fa no nyina na asem no ye ahweyi enkomo bia efa ewura Kennedy akompre ko Japan ho edi ewo multimedia platforms so it can never be true say we've set out our platforms to denigrate or to do whatever or no and I say buapayum and if you say empese man akwanya man intimidating or me yonku kese pa but it doesn't take away a collective decision of a media house. Say a bit my I have to be honest with you. It worries me, but maybe helpless. I cannot do anything about it. It's issues about misrepresentation and lies. No, idea unfortunate.
And people should also know
some of these matters
because and this decision of the company for me follow Ekosiisen. One person an interview show we so pa say open go for your interview or pa Honorable Kennedy Japan e be kan but say we observant you would have realized say for close to be 2 years as on Maha it has really got nothing to do with the presidential campaign even before he decided to contest na enya there oba bedwam so anaso oba Ekosiisen na any of the multimedia platforms we thought say because na questions no eba more we had to put it out officially na obi aye clear in his or her mind say e bia won't Honorable Ken nka it will show we so na any multimedia platform that is the reason why let all get it.
Well, we may share a point in us here. Point number 1 here, the IGP of Ghana, the New Patriotic Party under the leadership of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo and able lieutenants omonye careful about how they go about this matter of the Inspector General of Police. It is some way, somehow, from where some of us we are sitting, becoming somehow clear, say, an agenda to push the Inspector General of Police off Nakonya Otiso. Maybe I'll throw in this. Ghana and Ankasano, I think one of our challenges, they say, a potential in Ipebino. Ubia or Ghana who or demonstrating some level of patriotism for your mind Ghana. We find every means possible. And baby, what do first pan on ties again? Farm on the photo handle ECG. You see what they do there most of the time. Union for on the cafes is here. And I think that meeting our demands is impossible because it's insatiable. You can never meet the demands of my community. They say multimedia and I mean the next minute I call the next level. I have to move on to the next level. Ultimately satisfied. So I don't expect any leader to be able to 100%, 80%, 90%, except in few exceptional cases. Your measure line here above average. This is in Sakshrai Obayaba. But media, I don't want to see this IGP say there is a plan, deliberate, conscious plan for this current IGP to exit. A basana MPP on record no there. And a bibi dodo. If freedom level so near any basa say age we say far kaka near core hospital we chief executive near ya calculate we near pa near so when you begin to do those things now the service for the country, loyalty and why people should be patriotic for the country it's not going to be there again. Because Obiabe who said, now it is not about merit again. It's about bootlicking, sycophancy, and fool-headedness. They enya basubodi oh my God them, and they page oh my God them. They be that me come say Obiabe this uncommon we are. Don't sit unconcerned. Be constructive with whatever suggestions or criticisms I say how they back us on mine. Because you chire on mine. They be a mekayan chire bushi and kobi na kochire anko ankrobi na political party bi because these forces need na ebechobako. Sure. But an institutional like the Ghana Police Service is there. Ghana Police Service wa mo hihye wo ho. Ya ka politicians in say on be squarely an independent entity or more to take your decisions for themselves. Ya can all political parties. Ya can go be because obia tetero ekoseshe nyina yeto. So allowing these people to run their entity on the basis of independence, purely independent, yes, a better problem for us. What is the problem with this current IGP? They be adameka en common in Krubone de Obi. Directly at the IGP say pekwan bia so esuma IGP na to che but MP4 any o mamamu no mesre omo ya je ono kwa too much omo ya je ono kwa too much omo ya je ono kwa too much o mesre na ado danko akufuado ene the team a omote ho omo ye investigation area attach onye ni paketwa area ekopuko omo ye ni paketwa wona aka omo sa committee omo ye ni paketwa approach for mpanyimfo ahodo we area Dr. Mahmoud Baumia say approach ejuma no 80 yes chairperson some of these things will be ye weekend what it means is that if this IGP is to be changed wow but you follow line clearly so you will be at the beck and call of the party in power, and that is the challenge of this country. That is the challenge of this country.
My observation following committee in the probe, and I think to start with, Norman, the terms of reference are Speaker of Parliament at the committee. I just googled terms of reference. The graphic online, a story, and the terms of reference, Norman say the Speaker's directive came after the minority leader Deputy Minority Leader Emmanuel Kofi Amaboa had submitted per the directive of the Speaker the terms of reference of investigations of the committee. Or say, he mentioned that as the authenticity of the leaked tape, into we investigate the authenticity of the leaked tape. Good. 2, investigate the conspiracy to remove the current IGP. 3, investigate any other matter contained in the audio recording. 4, recommend sanctions to persons found culpable where appropriate, and make recommendations for reforms where necessary, and make such other recommendations and consequential orders as the committee might deem appropriate. I think if you go by the letter of Sir terms of reference, we are watching the proceedings, I am a bit worried. And the Amamaya worried kakra and say a tape record na iliki and an Amsuma speaker set a ad hoc committee. In fact, Speaker can say committee when should go beyond the Defense and Interior Select Committee of Parliament and I form an ad hoc committee. Good. 3 members from the minority, 3 members from the majority. But me sure how our settings no air and in some be our witnesses no air come before the committee now man. I say omo ye deviated from the terms of reference na ye de ma won. And kwa say
personal scores being able to
the management style of the IGP, the management of the Ghana Police Service, they were under trial. They should focus. But the point is, if you are not careful now, man, for the way witnesses need be about, you can see bitterness in them. Yeah. If the committee is not careful, witnesses will rather come and sway or more. Personal agenda.
The point is that me na me IGP said wadaroma. Yes. Me charge say me be IGP no. Me pension me ma approach for enkita wo deal with any pano enye ohare so enti eno na maka quote for anu atuma. I don't get this one.
But which organization
I don't get this one.
And a member of staff here to me sorry kasa.
Yeah, I don't get this one. Plus other matters. Me IGP dey be ameka cho me say on why no fashionista IGP. Who say that no celebrity IGP. But no currently say a certain level of calmness be trust be respect be integrity be credibility be is gradually building up under the watch of a Dr. Dampare. If the money is so appealing, is it or the name doctor and our setting the focus of supported by the able lieutenants Canada Kofi Boachi Council COP and they are kayo in your maka. You know, I mean, CI didn't pay for outdoor maka. A to Sanamo. The me. Because I said that because I mean Kazaka says they be that we wash our dirty linen outside and then we weaken the institutions that we want to empower them to work on behalf of the state. If you ampa, see a dini pa no chair, look at it. No man so say America, Canada, landing. We've not matured to that level. That's why still insults are part of your democracy. Instead of superior arguments.
Yes.
It is a woman, you may be naked, many penina so tia. Obi, and my police service now already a challenge because no matter to Tabontino. So only the Ghana police service deletes here. Issues about credibility and integrity and trust, no, you double look, you not just look at it. Some of these conversations are echo Bontino and your papa. My intent was that you may disagree, but my intent was that the Akosunina, the intent, you might be a bamboo piano. As I say, careful how he deal on Comoe and mountains. If he say, who's Susan, and yet the TV show I ever know. And who's Susan, the best I ever if you be a more, she could be a more, and Crankrabium, Ghana, Nibium, and won't see a Sianos different. A baby, police service now, young person holding in the highest team. Now, shit, Tantan, because so we oppose paying notes now. I can still IGP way. Sabi. For so run the Ghana police service, no. But police council say for some of these things. IGP no regime in the terms and conditions now what challenger. You are an integral part of the Ghana police service. There are channels that you can appeal or petition.
And so leader be our style.
That's the point.
My style doesn't necessarily have to please you. Because NSM when I'm about IGP.
Yes.
You have a different style.
Because now for the style is different. Yes. You for the crazy. Yes. Style. Me me crow for a buono. Yeah, me papa a quatin or whatever. Yeah, no or a PK quatin. PK champo and whatever. Well, all conform be abako. Obia ne qualify so or better the Ghana police service. Are you saying they were all 100%? They never had some flaws and maybe one way or the other they affect the service nana. Me de Mr. say the MPP under Nana Danko Akufo-Addo omunye careful. Yeah, omunye careful be.
Baba, would it be an NPP thing?
Oh please. Now cry yes, be crying jima. Now call about to know what has I lose what has the IGP got to do with the street talk cry for jima. It would just street talk no to ma. Now the what they are associates in your maybe snore ideas me am shishime. In the say no Obia obenya kwanya so obey CDS and IGP and BNI penyu NIB penyu and I say obey forces in penyu biano. You need to 100% a year koto to the government in power. There's nothing like one kasawunu team mutimi enya an independent mindset ana.
Me I would rather think sir and I like the disposition of Honorable Atachia so far. I think it should be a bit firm to make sure say he would police the process no in line with terms of reference. In line with terms of reference as Speaker Eddie Amon. Because what I've observed sitting back and I say Mia nipa binom akwakobo po afa me ho a tape e leak no e ya kwakwa say me na afei nioma na ekwa ba ma kwakwa say me na afei wasa na me mom na me kokoyi me ho ano say adenti na me meti me ba bi na nkofo ba me ho. That's how I'm seeing the thing. I think the committee would have to be a bit careful.
Mayam shishen no.
Yeah. Now
ekum the spirit to love Ghana.
Because me am tell baby no. Nkofo akogbo mo pa aba tapes no. E ya kwakwa say afei me na wasa me ba. Na me ba yi me ho ano. Say adenti na manfo akogbo me ho. I don't even get it. And I think they have to police the process well.
So the speaker would have long and short and say in all humility there shouldn't be any diabolic attempt to push over this IGP.
Yeah.
It will be so unfortunate. And it will be so unfair.
Yeah.
And it will feed into what lots of people already say by any means, fair or foul, no, this current administration, no, by any means. Media they may say terms of and conditions they ma cool no omudi omajuma no.
Yeah.
Omo say one no enkwa manin kosi say afedi ye free sa share de ma enim no. Nemum ya tiesi baby a ase wan kasa me pese ye fa akwanya say nyina so ne pia edisi chain. Now look at what is happening. Just imagine what's happening in the Ghana Police Service as we speak now. For the past 2 weeks, we say no. The Ghana Police Service no say if we will get a proper authority at the service as we speak. When they start seeing some of these things, is that how now they want to now manipulate the system now? If we have an issue as a servicer, now we have to resort to some of these things to solve our problem.
Yeah.
How independent is the Ghana Police Service? It's mainly the Council of Police Council. Some of these things in send community and no now how we know because no police officer should come and brag that a certain leader at a certain point, you know, or no now then she share or they ban or no feel say enya papa ubet much less our but she say okay I was there baby na me dem sure was akasenim say we don't respect the head. The standards are falling. They be our same way mikawa the standards keep falling. We talk too much in this country. We talk too much, but yes, just prepare and no crab yajman. Yenya kasankwa from Apiate, Igusu celebrity. Now we have Shama, Kasasa. Ubehuna original minister can't say Omokomu operate without the full documents. But they've been operating for all these years. Asamumaya, that is where the problem is. That's where the problem is. Maybe set up small market or main road. No more set up assembly now who be and pay attention. Now for market, you know, I bet some na bear market. Any attempt to move India to push them over, no, and also quite a problem. So this country, I don't know how we want to be rude or governed again. Unfortunately for us, we also a candy for no. One we emre yoni esin tontino ehwa no mobo because ka say asase omi enton e Ghana asase won na e be ka che say Ghana asase na ka say mo atofan wi it even believing the system that it will work in the plan a problem. That's where the danger is, believing the system that it will work. It will be back to IGP in Komona. Let's be careful how this matter ends. Because it can make or break the Ghana Police Service. Important.
It's true.
It can make or break the Ghana Police Service. They want Dr. Dan Pariba, you know. I am to kwasa chuchuri sa. Ekosiisen Dr. Dan Pariba peace of mind. Na Dr. Dan Pariba Snowby. Na kuma uba election me say me ko me na me ai maza. Dr. Dan Pariba but it is not about pepe or no coin. Sure. It's about operating with what you need to operate with. Timothy, I'll plead any attempt because I can say me, I'm not even comfortable with the kind of police service we have because of the Ekokokos. I'm not for more than you. Only madam for operating for more CID headquarters or more in America on perform service in Pamcho. CID headquarters. Me now for more 3 commercial dia balance or muji leave. My friends steady leave. And I said they leave.
Okay. Now I
have 8 friends.
Oh.
It is a teacher for me, a doctor for me, a medicine for me, your service for no sunobi. Do you think that we have a proper head now at the Ghana Police Service? With the same you know, damn paracrano, whatever they the crack rabbit. Other COPs, no, DCOPs, no, other ranks, no. Look at what is happening.
And that is why the critical role the police play That is why we have to be careful. Already, I thought, say, with the benefit of hindsight, maybe, and what's a speaker allow for this public inquiry on the with the benefit of hindsight. But in yes, I think because a delicate issue, the committee has an onerous responsibility to guard the process well. They should stay within the terms of reference. Make sure say excesses biano on be avoided. They also muko in camera munko, and Honorable Atachian should stamp his authority as chairman with support of the vice chair of this committee. Now, among guard the process just to ensure say the confidence in the police service, the morale in the police service is not broken. So morale need break it down. We are finished.
You see some of the problems we have as a country. Police might be sending a message. IGP or street or chair could to a black one. And now how for how comes in was Abia on one channel.
Honestly,
how you see how people also look at issues. You see how people look at issues? It is the same grounds, Wakwa chia say they okay and the cry. Obi we enough grounds to say. Yerepam IGP. No. And we enough grounds.
Na so we put the intimate grounds for sacking the IGP. I said say Ghana no yenya problem with leadership at all levels. In the say Obi Inspector General of Police. Now a clear sign of genuine leadership from the personnel. We have to support them. Reforms, all the reforms, urban institution, be no man easy. One of the most difficult things to do, change management. Only leadership expert be adding komoa. Change management is very difficult. It is a leader be ba now or start at the reforms ever. And clearly nobody can deny the fact that under Dampareno, there have been clear reforms here in the Ghana Police Service. How they operate, how they do their things, the branding, the PR aspect of the police service. Some changes are. It doesn't mean he's been right all the times. I think there are certain things on also tenacia dream who be say, ebi had me go overboard, ebi had ye but no leader is perfect. I don't even admire perfect individual because there is none. Obia is aspiring to do things right. And I think under Dampareno, we've seen that clear win, despite the inadequacies, despite the fault as a person. If we've had all IGPs coming with that disposition, and police service image, and was strong. And I think we should support some of these people, or yena ankoya, yemani who say hadie ankoye, but we should not be deliberate in trying to tear the police apart and bringing the police service.
That's my point.
It is not proper. It is not proper.
That's my point.
It's not proper.
That's my point. Bibia touch it, sir. Now we go and touch what we are not supposed to touch. Now for the consequence of that touch, all of us, not necessarily active politicians, all of us. Yeah, appreciate it, sir. Baby, are you free? Any baby, I be doing. And yet, you make it one. It means to turn us. Baby, are you free? Ni baby, I be doing. Me to two and no more be brass because and who should so no can say affect your mind obi. Me be near okra brabum.
Yeah, it's true.
There to be mobi.
Me ba obi say.
Yeah.
Obi, I strongly differ from your perspective on the police leaked tape. The IGP is not meeting the expected standards in handling the conduct of the entire police force. It's crucial to remember that the IGP is not exempt from criticisms. No one is above the law. Please pass on my regards to incoming MP, Honorable Ekosiisen M'Ahiasem, North Constituency. Kweku, my point is that when you say he's not meeting the expected standards, that is English. The expected standards in handling the conduct of the entire play. What does that mean? Be specific and let's interrogate the issues you raise. I have said, and I read out the terms of reference of the committee for a reason. Now, terms of reference. Now, do we think that is what is happening? I think we can all have that fair conversation.
Why I don't see beyond the DBA or the also differ in opinion.
Yeah, that's fine.
Oman, I am not for Dampare being shown the exit, but you can't blame the government for the kind of predicament he finds himself in. No one was there when Dampare entered into that MOU or agreement with Bugri Nabu to the extent that this was not the making of the president or any agency of the state. You cannot blame this administration for whatever is happening. Blame Dampare and Bugri Nabu and leave Akufo-Addo out of this. Now, I don't know. The PK is upon me. That's a pass. What this argument we ever. No correct say. Bibia ebe to chima. Esan se manpayin e appointed authority. Bibia ebe to chima. Ebe ti say no. The manpayin ka entimi chuma manpayin fi mu da. Na PK suppose oba jia to say nkrobo bebre akoso. So nkrobo you are privy to most of that nkrobo no. Over for nyina e twitwa ba no so a e ya akoso sa nkrobo na ekoso no. E ya mpa. The whether MOU with Bugri Nabu or otherwise no. Now the number of you can say journalists or national security operators. Maybe you have no idea. A number of us, many count, but in preference, you move to do na juma, bambo juma indirectly for government and like for the state. Yeah. That's national security. It will be Jubedi no be to inure to the benefit of his administration, not to hold beef one day for Dampare or Dr. Dampare. But me point to say processes, fairness, objectivity should always be at work wherever we find ourselves. It's our police service me that objectivity and fairness now. As I say, now the same process, no, or the civil and public service, no. If you say me promotion you due. Now, because I'm going to be trying to promotion not up to date. Oh, my promotion. The system will be jammed, will be corrupted. So, all of us, we should join that bus, that train of fairness, objectivity, and then patriotism for our country. Because it doesn't matter whether Dampare or Bugri Nabu or Kwabena Sante. You always want matters to be looked at void of partisanship, active partisanship. It is Krobo Bebre Pike, Krobo Bebre Akoso. San Krobono. And no one should answer and I'm for in as a diaba. Yadasima to me so. Me Yadasima to me so. Yako, we say. I hear a micro jack. Yet maybe be a scapegoat be a piano to baby. Sound common way is important, but sounds obi. Even one major issue from Ghana, have you ever wondered why are our technocrats not talking to issues of national interest? Yeah. Why?
You'll be tagged and sometimes
completely in
the extreme case victimized.
Completely. Is this in the interest of Ghana?
No.
I'm not a technocrat now. Maybe a choir say, or didn't remember our ministers. I take you over all governments, not this government. So the technocrats not winning Mukrano. Do you know the number of technocrats are more fraying? Yedi apomudi unkomo, yedi kwa unkomo, yedi sikasem unkomo. Yesi masa. Yentimi nya wisdom everywhere subject matter. Enti wa was an Indian entity na bra na betchire mo se madwuma momi a ye betata me yire anase ye betumi susa. On mind being ye on my technocrats no more on top of issues now. Ebebua mo man fa imagine you know when they come and express their opinion they are attacked, either victimized, intimidated, or frustrated in their own country. Most of these people, so they are well to do. Hear politics to change their lifestyle. Then they will stay off. Now a lot of in quote trash akoso airwaves now not very dominant for us to follow. It's sad.
Yeah.
It's sad. Yeah, architecture was some Accra lines, the Accra drain system. Now you know going to be a cabinet technocrats like the normal text message, normal educate you via text message and WhatsApp. Is that it? This is not enough. We can read, we can study, but if it is your field, your exposure and your experience, you should be the person educating and leading us. Obviously off. Obviously off. For the fear of victimization. Now to your memo. Now my own sin to be aba.
Now to me.
Now to me who says sin to na aba my own India when you to me from my idea. It's answer because the moment you talk as a technocrat, we are there wa home and bet a chair for the Ghana interest about affect a political party or a group. That group from that day will say you have been bought. There yansu baku krumanyina no. Obia obebie na no.
I can't.
Contrary to what the opposition is saying or the government in power is saying. Yatono. Obia.
Stomach.
Obia obebie na no. Waka say. Oh, ade we a NDC for ka e die. Na me anim die. Me nyi ni say ne kwan no so no. Ade we a nanado why e die your excellency. We dey wadaroma mesre wa me nyi ni say wakwa. Any act or say or utterance or whatever you are tagged as Yatono. It is the Ghana interest part in discussion, Obi. It's out of Ghana interest. Nankasa say ye din komo osebosu. Una call a school amanone. Oko no campuses no near sini saying na no here campuses na say they see and one say o shall say o lego my deba o cape ko so my there o come point so name ahano so much say catch say before pin we amano there sa yes. So people who are supposed to be leading the conversation and discussion, they are not there. And I'm catching on say, in all humility, and M'Ahiasem was one key area near a bomb buying. Many pa benya kwenya era M'Ahiasem no. One to me any pa, not necessarily say what could kanya mieni. That's why respectfully I disagreed with Era Machibuatin. Dan Obeka say Obusa the question I can't work with say. I saw a patch over that statement, you know. It was very uncalled for. In any case, in all humility, what has the PhDs and the Lincolns and the Oxford, or what have they done to us as a country? In all humility.
You recall, say, I asked him that question.
In all humility.
Mibusan is our question. So, yes, he raised the issue of what the literature says. And Onoka said, reviewing literature, development literature, no, I trust for third world countries or developing countries, no, the kind of leadership you need, and yet the ordinary leader, you need leaders who are knowledgeable, especially at least in economics, very knowledgeable to be able to govern developing countries.
It comes back to my question. We are not going by the status quo and these things that if we are going strict proof by some of these things, and a lot of things, oh my God, maybe in because you can't go by those status quo. Can you never go by that status quo? You can't. And it is dangerous to say, governance is cut for a certain group of people for others to follow. It's not true. Leadership is not about PhD. Leadership cannot be about Oxford or Lincoln or Harvard. It's not true. And I'm saying that, Obi, Wadaroma, from 1992, I need to take a crack about Ghana, and you want to better so. Ghana, Mampen, Ben Abba, Wadaroma, if you're not yet a I can't say tracker with maybe President Rollins, or no crown for this exposure more. And it's more than a classroom education. President Kufuor, late Atamils, John Dramani Mama, His Excellency, the former president, Nana Dodankwe Kufuor. When come here backbenches, one person move via crying, go and check the record, the CV of Miami Papa, Akoto Free. Go and check. Go and check
PhD Cambridge.
And I'm saying, go and check Papa or a Professor Alabi. Go and check.
Joshua Alabi.
Go and check a word. Go and check. And you 3x4 beyond almost 77 Ghana man paying you for. No, it's not possible. But it doesn't necessarily say Sebi Kosukua Enum Pensobia Untiminya Kwenya. The question is that one or more we all these institutions no more how well have they enforced discipline? How well have they made sure say these economic figures no more can watch them a bit imagine? How well have they ensured say Ghana Nibekoso Ghana? I am proud of Ghana.
But let me throw this back at you. And I know, sir, in previous conversations, what make a point, sir, and you are very loud when it comes to issues of standards. Say in your certain standards, whatever field. You even openly supported commenter or say Chairman Saboso is reported to have made. Say about Parliament. We should be able to maintain a certain level of standard. And we'll see a certain level of education for members of Parliament. And you will be But how then do you just oppose that to this your current position? The presidency, you think will be
but it's like until you get to a certain height in education, you are unable or you cannot. It will be unfair for me to bring out certain members of parliament in this current parliament. Say, in fact, when it comes to ratings and performance, I'm telling you, they are really performing than the so-called people we expected them to say, overperform. If you can no average. but who come PhD ni omo den nyina nwona one of our children course 7 no omo we dey abrabo ti abrabo ase no ti strictism as combine it with a little education that they have no they are yielding results. I subscribe say won't be my raw data sa mamet now bam. And education can always not be just classroom education and certificate education so akwaje. Won't me yasa obi yendi mu yankofo ebi. Wakɔ de koba nyina echi o ka chere say on 10 even ensuo keke on fa mixi ye kan say ele wonyo kura na ebe di be 5 hours
ele wonyo ere ade
o ele wonyo say muduro na akokuma say akaka do ade award ade ayi blog gugu that say ni kala award
ele wonyo ye why no de ebe guli pa
so what are you doing Mr. Media necessary me say I just say in common person this is and common say we are subjecting the MPP mu na mu abe mu to social contact amu dey have here and platform conversations. The NDC cannot be left over because their responsibility is that the weakness of the MPP, what is the option they have for us? It's the NDC the only time they say they were dealing with MPP. Mona mu abe mu na share your boss say free SHS, one district, one factory, one village, one dam, a NAPCO, all insurance, all these things are good intent policies. Papa, and we are Ekosiisen. It will end this, you know. My expectation is that if you have observed lapses in the policies of the MPP, what is the alternative? 2024 elections, no. Yantra was real. Now about the culture say sa keke. Now ko sa keke. Practical. Oko makola, oko kantamanto, oko kaishia. They do practical economics. Because family no way free gas ba. Me the free port they say o matutum. It make $1 near 5 cedis. Match dia tum say me $1 na kobi be 60 50 pesos. It me hu me ba me me ba photo. Me hu say na mo na manya. Ampo kiki osisi wi na aba no pepe. We tua port dey aban dia ma no. Ono so nfa so kakra but o de konanim. Practical ye ko. It mesre. Once we do these things, no. We should understand that the underlying factor me the hear me say pass obi a wo papa pass or person from the mind obi you can be surrounded by lieutenants who are really fair-minded, patriotic-minded to lead this country. Now na leader no more leaders no more church no do ko gigi na preview obi mo dey number man obeda say mo dey number man the late Jerry John Rawlings. So what you say dear number that is why any pa who engage your services say o mo mehwe ma wa mamu ntimi nyina no edu baby na dodo na modern bo enya ni sa esese otimi gina brane na otimi ka chon say money adwuma pa baby ade adu no akopa de kofo gina ya na mintimi fa obi nso media migidie ni say obetimi ato America no so ama me awie pa no embeto aso it's important. So whether the MPP likes it or not, they will be subjected to the needed scrutiny, void of unnecessary partisanship and exaggeration and all those things. Yeah, the answer say, Bebun contract chair because only a social contract. Year of road, phase 2. Ekosiisen. Dear na wa achieve. Hefa no wadru. Dear na akamuntia amana base huntimi enwie sa project ya uka wasem. Ye wie nkomo no. After your explanation, the listening public will make an informed choice or decision on whatever you have said. Whether you are performing, whether genuinely you met a hurdle and you cannot cross over that hurdle easily. Once when the opposition comes to sit here, they cannot continuously be laughing that a jato political party and then when your farmer interview that's the cry. That's the crew. A butuko NDC so do for your water and the market cow margin brutal and a cosa no about health because of your water do for home is not irrelevant. You buy a health system now. Is it true that still in Pawasem a doctor from nurse from Kikano and wants them to say hospitals are Muslim agenda 111. You're trying for 9 years, a cat and a cat years and what is saying? Now didn't you mwaba? You're aka de otwe baako no mu be aduosia nkrata for asase no nsem abe ye di nkomo no isuo ho asem
bena wo ka agenda 111 kra let me ask and the information ministry a program bi wo T region I think na no more update on agenda 111 I saw it live on Adom TV no more update on Agenda 111. I think they've done quite a good job, man. Say who follow, obi follow, so live transmission maybe I would have seen say project no be brave for most of the sites and in focus no. Na utimus or mako manim it will be exciting really say omutimi wie sa projects ni nyina truly na ya share how an maybe say let me read some few messages. There are some other big stories meaning say now so one human num so far waka one pay mamen kan he kakana memra na fe yem trust will be good afternoon please if you can educate me on the reason why it is that a political leader should appoint the IGP. Please, Obi, it's unfortunate. Why can't the police administration go through a genuine process and elect the IGP? It's about time some appointing authority should not be done by any political leader. Kweku Uwan Sawem. Kweku, I agree with you, and it takes us back to the conversation of constitutional review. And you would see about that. We say, Obi, good day. Please tell a man for me that I am a fashion designer, but I want to polish it small. So I beg him to introduce me to his fashion designer. Greetings to Dr. Palgrave. Inti father watch him new tafo. Inti oman where you watch him when masemka. We say Obi, I totally agree with Oman. The professor needs to apologize to Ken. Education is good, but life is about combining your imaginations. Obi, good afternoon. I have a serious problem with Oman. Why? Because you always speak as though he is the epitome of knowledge, and that's one thing. And this is something we have to pump into the minds of Ghanaians. There's nothing wrong in disagreeing.
I do Pentecost respondent. Can't say me can't be that say a true Indian Yansen in Ekutame. Me bomb home what said the Ghana Biano. Me dia koma papa e be kire margin my dream training kire say e finito me kwa me dia make no and e de bel who kire wa junior all some of these things respectfully are born out of envy, jealousy and foolishness because as I say kire wa junior
foolishness will be too hard.
No as I say kire wa junior I admit but as I say kire wa junior
I agree.
So what I say and that is what has stampeded the progress of this country. Obi when the better epitome. What epitome? You are coming back with also the wagini
and that's
so go straight to your point.
That's something we have to encourage Ghanaians to do. In democracy, there is nothing wrong in disagreeing. We don't have to agree always on issues. We can disagree. There is no problem in that. Also for our drink, I'll read. PKs upon the Nigerian
we need to improve on our conversation.
That's it. That's what this democracy is all about. Democracy which I disagree with. But I just say and people also misconstrue that to me and say, "Baby, everybody in the name of democracy." No, you should be prepared to defend that position with logical argument. One thing I was here into about who is epitome of knowledge or who is not. Just state your opinion.
Maybe he should have also stated who he is. They don't know the epitome of knowledge. No, but I cannot be superior than anybody. It's a privilege. I am more intimidation and for some of these platforms. No, it can't happen. You have the opportunity to also express your opinion, no matter how you differ.
Of course. That's how beautiful this whole democracy thing is. Intimoma yenyina yen shanen so.
Where omo ye kotoko from bi okoto. Where has for crane we omo office Christ obaka so mawi. Na e wo ni be kutwe ho man so sa. E has in we.
Me has magistrate bullet. Has for omo. Has for omo. Dr. Dampare is doing a fantastic job at the Ghana Police Service. My worry is with some aspects of the leaked tape indicating that the police can help a political party win an election. It is total falsehood. The corrupt and selfish policemen should not discredit our electoral process in this country. The police are their own enemies. Anyway, Dr. Baumia Beba, signal no you're strong. Master planner, you are somewhere in Tampo. Yes, signal. That's for Dr. Baumia. Signal no you're strong. We say, Obi, what's the name? Oma hine eye waka kakra eye. Gaiman no a short a shooty blank bullet. Farouk in Tema. Farouk.
Yeah. Farouk Kusu no work by so per time be now per listeners be consistently. Omu diare dam pasu kurana. They will love to contribute and we appreciate
Farouk.
Yes. No more to me. Yes, Farouk.
We say, Obi, good afternoon. Let me ask you, if persons involved in the on the leaked tape are found culpable, finally it will be debated on the floor. What happens to the punitive sanctions? Who goes on to punish them? ROG, Ewo Shukura, and Odi Way Abba ROG. Thank you. We say, Obi, kindly extend my greetings to Honorable Elder Emmanuel Tobin, the incoming MP for Anyanso Utuum constituency. T24, a new way forward. Maxwell Asante, Ewa Blake, my electoral area. On my own name, Anyanso Utuum, Hona Dr. Adoma Kukisi, MP, no. But
MP Ben Amami Kujina, chair or the chief from Poton, or a Tobin Binian. O Mammy Koi, Ukumio. I could be driving. Yeah, dear, you will be not a Jamaican Tiasian. I call as a corner a trade minister Kujina. A quality see from Gigra, only a good nine, a mini pay.
Katie Amo. Oh, a Same Benfo. I quite the war was it. Oh, the war. Never they find better. That's a bit. Elder Emmanuel Tobino. Only Adoma Kukisi called primaries the last time, and Adoma Kukisi winning. Hina or Saya Baby.
I was a baby.
And Tobin is Saya Baby. Indeed, Adoma Kukisi on a horse. A horse, Adoma Kukisi.
Oh, see, I know Bambi Caprices. Now, a game pack for permutation. Now, I call one criticism. Yeah, Mula.
No. But I use so. Nadano, a president photographer, or costill on.
No, minim die. Minim se obekoba mi on firm on app.
On any wager.
Minim in fact minim so at the fantimana na.
Tabi President cameraman yes you only tinamensa e kwa kwagina wager ya. E kan ho asem wa the last time e unkai.
Mahuno. Oh, what do I confirm one? Said that you know. Once I say Debbie, sure. And yet, Adia, Mamma Musu, Nipa too much. Yeah. But
my friend not confirm.
Also, he's really a force there. What book constituency no I want you much, you It's any panidia or did to Muse and Pako.
Also, another interesting constituency.
Now, if I almost as a Majan,
as a Majan choice near between wager, bow and a domemo, but you know English, a man from. And they also decided, baby, and I seen the chrome when chinso.
As a Majan, Crummy. Oh, bravo.
I don't know, mammy, if you went here.
Oh, this ain't no more power bravo. They will be come now, say, I'm everybody feel.
I said, I'm everyone, I'm in me feel.
Now, remember, Cocacho say, you're very good. I'm for Germany delay. But I say, Tebri. Beside like me, but I said, what's
not Tebri, okay. And I can't set on your back, we went to me.
Yes, I seen you be anywhere. Tebri bar. Or Bonnie said, oh, she was up over Germany. Sasa. Every the sample for Jewa. Tebri.
Now, Mosiaso Bob Marley, Manso Mosiaso Bob Marley, I say, woman, show you brutal. Now, Tebri, name your man, I hate Sasa. Oh, please. Sasa, please.
Dear Mopen, yes, Sasa.
No way, now, way, and you were saying, I say, woman, Fino.
Hey, Obi,
Darby, I say,
woman, Freddie Mabakas, or mom, watchers and observers, determine that you know. So I tell you, and do so what your Ghana music. Okay, Germany closes and not German, and not. Well, be catch now.
Oh, Master Man from
now, who need the chichi now or the oil,
and one big announcement by but even before say about Coco born this explosion in Shama man worrying and worrying because
and you're worrying on Shaman. What really comes to mind? Quite a mature be down. What really comes to mind is your regulatory bodies.
Yeah.
The excuses are becoming too much. They are not really working. And maybe I'll be a shaking responsibility. Obiao. The assessor are responsible the daily bread and then the monthly ends in the bread. Obia shaking responsibility because supervision chain no.
Breaky.
It main who dream say after Apiate no crown. Book tintin kesiye a committee ni de bre yera abugina po and the allied agencies no. Yen timi anhwe say under natural resources no. Sa query ni sa sand ni sa salt ni sa whatever the no. A part of it you know. You be streamline in the front of some of these things. Ghana the same can eject. Where see Udomu heads are you be pretend say it is ruling. Bakukra a rule. Near the statements from the agencies ni na babeto. Near sa investigative committee the next 3 weeks. Near sa shasia copper fund say yen fan busha for a one. Into your mind, we don't value human lives. Yeah. We don't appreciate that same secret unfortunate. As I see it may improve on the situation. A typical example they will be catch on say enunti ana me sha say me ye adwuma me bobra no. Me national service ka dey na came 3 months from 1992. Ebesi nne onti se national service sika kem. You engage new teachers onti so mo ka kem. Na say o teacher ni ana national service and other government agencies o ka kem for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 months in the name of back payer. What are they using to go to and fro and to eat once they come to work for Mother Ghana? And the corruption you breeding more. Yeah. So you shouldn't have been a breeding corruption because you allow my corruptible acts. Ekoso, it will seem to be pretending to be solving the problem of corruption, but Ukraine ewa ombrasim. Yana montuo ewa kataze shene proyento kwa kono. Yenu bebia and debia na meka mesre. My ofia ni nkosa amanyo semfo nkwazo secretary ni kura wo ti obi di application ba na wo di ahye gate bukara wo di ahye dasbi bukara no it's not good. Contractor wo se so di sika ma na wo se wa ma kakra ni a on sign the krata na ma ni nkwaji ni sika it's not healthy. Central for amu asemo ba na ma fa kwati kwazo na mo gina no mo se mo ma ne mba na ma kwaji sika che mbodo it's not healthy. It's obi a wo chefa eba ye boa chichiro man ama man na ti me di mo awie peyo. Unia ofre na oka obi ho asema etro. It's a corruptible act of behavior. Sa nyoma wanya na kesi ani ma o man chichire no edimu ewie peyo. Eti entimi ntre eto so da bia da. And because I have never disagreed with Nana Dankwa on this matter of yetisikaso. And so come there because the management of our resources, the usage of our resources, most of Ghana and natural resources is not processed here. Therefore, the boom near the process or na weight more in terms of value. Sika na yaksakoto na de aba ade yanka se dia. So this is how we have been managing ourselves all these years, and we are pretending that a better solution to petromuntumu yenya. And here our brasem aban bia no betimi petromuntumu ase obose or the amanyo sembi. It's not true because you were kwanya say even 20 years crowd we put in a modality to ensure say in 20 years time Ghana yentimi entwe ma ebuo bi mbe yen determinant for our price in terms of petrol. You share say in 20 years time no factories industries are setting up no enya dia Ghana for kra kombe dompo say omo pa kontu ade etu. You share him say the welfare in terms of monetary gains and rewards of the Ghanaian worker. So I just say yen nyina ebe hu say ampa Ghana ni adwumani no on to me nkase wa ye adwuma bosumi obi ko pension after 40 years they done the pension fund mu 25,000 Ghana cedi now no dey din komo hanum say no obi Canada 2 weeks $2,200. How do we discourage people from traveling outside the country when in 4 weeks somebody is taking 4,400 Canadian dollars, almost 40,000 Ghana cedi or more? How do we discourage it? Now 40,000 Ghana cedi any percent na Ghana ha bosumi omunya sesika no. Yeah. So there are conversations that we need to have, and it is doable and it is possible. It may say, yeah, it's your mind mu ankasa, obi yankasa. Yeah, let's see who say you bet me to anamoa eye papa. That is why I cry for my beloved country when you tata yankasa, you businessmen. When we go after our businessmen and in quote some of these noticeable foreign companies, no, we know, we've read that they flouted most of our regulations. But Ghana new flouted just a second. That is why I am sad when a baby bar if we say we're highly exposed politically, and then we should these two scenarios, these two good friends. Now one aspiring to be a flag bearer, Kennedy Japan, and then one big good businessman, Ibrahim Mahama. In fact, there was Sofa Kesepa
Kofi Job.
How do we build people? How do we build industries? How do we build companies? How do we push the Ghana brand to be there when all we know is that 4 years, 8 years, 12 years of Indian administration, the gains that are making those gains will go back to the team, and then we build new ones to come. Another 12, 8, 4 years, we push all of them down. So how do we develop?
And I think it's okay, sir. You mentioned the fact about regulatory agencies. No, Oko Shama, Obio Nim Shama Biani Nim say in the Shama enclave, no, there are over 20 quarry sites. 20 quarry companies operate in that enclave. From Asokwe, Saman, Odeba, Bedu Shama Junction, Echemuako, and video of the explosion site. Ena ye show Ede Emamon where videos are Yensem Tropho Echana Enra Ede SND where Shama Asoko. A Saman area or an explosion is a quarry site. Explosion. That's how messy the place looks now. Yeah, Nipabe Num and Ashre Wonkwa. It's a terrible disaster. And Akwaso Ewo. And some of these sites are so close to settlement. It's mind-boggling. Just a Ben Kroma ma enwawa. You wonder who gave the permit for some of these things to happen. And was said Makano, Obionim Shama Uncle will be said there are over 20 quarry sites, and these are mega quarry sites, and easy. Regulation should be top notch. We Minerals Commission and the assemblies should help us. Because after this, we should do a system audit of all the other quarry sites. Now you should have or more operations any of the EC because this should not happen again. After Apiati, we shouldn't have been seeing this cry and SCR Hosem. But this message, we say Obi. Good afternoon, Obi. Please wish the Chief Justice a happy birthday for me. Oh, and Chief Justice Tokono birthday. Wow, that's nice. Into your ladyship, happy birthday to you. I say I really admire her from afar in terms of her works. Tell Omahine that as much as I agree that the IGP has done well on institutional reforms, there are a number of police officers grumbling about delaying promotions and sidelines against some officers. So the IGP must also settle.
So we have to look into it. Yeah. Very good point.
Yeah.
Obi, we are due for.
Yeah.
And no crime international inspector, chief inspectors, as I was be correct. And no crime Dadi says, chief inspectors, yes, necessary promote to a more. Yeah. Ebu abem. Me so say I'm for papa so my Ghana, and especially these institutions. Yeah, mo tete ha sir. Your problem.
Yeah, it's true. Which I think that still the police are not doing enough to warrant the kind of hype we give them. Just last week, Thursday, a police officer collected 200 cedis from a driver who negligently picked a passenger at a place where he was not supposed to pick such a passenger. The driver cursed him till we got to Medina. So I am of the candid conviction that the media seems to give a colossal hype to him beyond what he's done. Gilbert Boating Ejare in Damfa. Gilbert, yeah, visually impaired friend.
Okay.
The visually impaired historian.
Okay. No, Gilbert, the air can say, where say, seem to a dawa. It needs to be rectified.
Yeah, we just
so IGP
No, but I don't think that is not even the case. The IGP, nobody in this country, nobody, and I've said, sir, he is human. Your problem wasn't the pain in Atias, and say, your leadership issues at all levels, Oman. And the union leader be at a particular level like the IGP. Now, show signs of credibility, of genuine intention to want to serve. Yes, a genuine intention to want to serve. What you should do is to support that person.
Exactly.
Baby, you're wrong, you bring him in line. But not just say we should crucify the person because of one mistake. That's my point. If you think, say, overhype, no, I don't think it's overhype. Cry into mama, so, but Gilbert, thank you so much. I'm pretty sure say no
Yeah.
we say Obi na visually impaired here or a day who said driver need to 300 say Obama so far say Obama
say the new say be on so no be nam and common on TV say be as in say Obama no koye judge koye attorney general that for susu di susu
whether Obi look the MPP government is trying to employ flimsy tactics to paint Dr. Dampare. Bugri Nabu is only being used to execute the Dampare removal agenda. It's employed to get him off. Yeah.
Well, now case and it's
true. And Ekosiisen, you sent this message, I think, on Friday. I read it out. And thank you nonetheless for sending it one more time. We say, Obi, good afternoon. You see what has happened in Shama. It is not surprising to me at all. Obi, you remember I told you some time ago that the roads leading to Takoradi have been destroyed by heavy-duty trucks from these quarry sites, mostly owned by Chinese within that enclave. A lot of these quarry sites are owned by these Chinese and they are causing a lot of damage to the enclave. Some buildings have started seeing cracks. Entry roads to Takoradi proper are being destroyed. And it's pathetic, Obi. You and I have a vested interest in Takoradi, and we should not sit down for our dear town to be destroyed in the sole interest of a good few. Godi ewa tema.
Okay, so Obi me the can say. Yeah. They be a micro Newmont. Omo pay setters.
Now onim say ukọ leave no. Obi freka say e kwan na Newmont for your omo jayo.
There be Newmont for the about papers mu say. Sa kwan no. Sika bia esese omutua ema contractor na didi ni djuma no. Omo de omo adwene mu no, omo tua wie. As we speak, contractor ni Kofi Job or say enya no kure na
enya no kure say den
new money for tua sika bia se so di edema no that tango no ho but tango ho no ma I know say contract new money for my so I was going to praise new money say anya hwe kwa no a certain responsibility. Reason is that they be adam no fa Takoradi kwa no so because na trucks akese is there no way a kwan bi so no yebetimi no madi nkomo no omo so